We all want children to succeed in school. But what's the real secret sauce? It's not just about what happens inside the classroom. Today, we're going to dive into the one connection that can make or break a child's entire educational journey: the communication between teachers and families.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We'll start with the why, why this partnership is so absolutely vital. Then we'll break down the two main types of communication. We'll open up a whole toolkit of practical methods, figure out which ones pack the biggest punch, and then we'll wrap it all up with the number one takeaway.
First step, let's get right to the heart of it. Why is communication so much more than just another thing on a teacher's to-do list? Let's find out why it's really the first step to helping a child truly thrive.
To really get to the bottom of this, let's start with this one core question. When you peel back all the layers, the curriculum, the tech, the tests, what is the one thing that truly supports a student's growth?
Well, the answer is simpler and way more human than you might think. It's all about the relationship. Real success is built on a strong, trusting partnership between home and school. When you have that connection, you create this amazing bridge that supports a child's development, making sure what happens at school is backed up at home and vice versa.
Now here's where it gets really interesting. Not all communication is created equal. We can actually break it all down into two very different categories, and it all depends on one simple thing: which direction the information is flowing. Let's dig in.
First, you've got one-way communication. Just think of this like a broadcast. It's all about getting information out there. Announcements, reminders, general updates. It's totally essential for keeping everyone on the same page, but it is a monologue.
And then, on the flip side, you have two-way communication. This is completely different. It's designed to be a conversation. The whole goal here isn't to talk at someone, but to talk with them, to invite questions, to listen, and to build a real give-and-take relationship.
And this right here, this just nails the difference. One way is for informing. Two-way is for partnering. And that's the key, right? Partnering is where you get those priceless insights and build the trust that makes everything else work. So now that we get the why and the what, let's get practical. It's time to open up the teacher's toolkit and look at 10 essential methods for actually making these connections happen.
Yep, we've got 10 of them, and each one has its own special purpose. Let's jump in with number 1.
Okay, the foundation of everything is the simple but incredibly powerful daily conversation. I'm talking about those quick, informal chats at drop-off and pickup. They are golden opportunities to build rapport and show families they are seen and valued.
Of course, in our world today, digital communication is huge. Emails, texts, and classroom apps are just amazingly efficient for sending out reminders, sharing a quick photo, and keeping families in the loop every single day.
And man, the options are pretty much endless, as you can see right here. The key isn't which specific app you use, but how you use it to create a consistent, easy, and totally reliable line of communication.
So let's talk about the personal touch. You should never underestimate a good old-fashioned phone call. And here's a pro tip. Making positive good news calls just to share something great that happened is one of the fastest ways to build up a bank of goodwill and trust. And right along those same lines, you have the power of the personal note. Seriously, whether it's handwritten or just a quick digital message, it sends such a powerful signal to a parent. I see your child. It is a small gesture with a massive impact.
Next up, let's make the learning visible. Bulletin boards and classroom displays are so much more than just decoration. They're communication tools that share class news, and even more importantly, they celebrate student work, which can spark some great conversations at home.
Now, to keep families consistently updated, we've got things like daily news flashes, perfect for a quick snapshot of the day's activities. And for a deeper dive, newsletters are great because they can explain learning goals and even suggest ways for parents to get involved.
Yeah, check this out. A newsletter like this one really works because it's concise, it's visual, and it's super easy to scan. It's not just about dumping information. It's about making parents feel connected and ready to talk with their child about their day.
And finally, we have tools that literally bridge the gap between school and home. Things like learning backpacks send activities and materials right into the home to get families directly involved. Then, and this is so important, feedback tools like surveys make sure that communication is a real two-way street, making parents feel like valued partners whose voices are actually heard.
So, okay, that is a lot of tools. We've got this entire toolkit from quick chats to digital apps. But with limited time and energy, it's totally fair to ask, where should we really focus our efforts to get the biggest bang for our buck in building that crucial trust?
So let's really think about this for a second. We've seen tools for efficiency, tools for sharing info, tools for getting parents involved, but when it comes down to the heart of it all, building that deep emotional connection, which one truly stands out from the rest?
And here it is. This is the key insight. While technology is an amazing supplement, absolutely nothing replaces the power of a simple, daily, face-to-face interaction. It's in those brief, human moments that the strongest and most meaningful relationships are built.
All right, let's bring all this home. We've looked at the why, the what, and the how. So what's the big idea we should all walk away with?
Here's the bottom line. The ultimate goal isn't to just pick one method. It's to skillfully blend a bunch of different one-way broadcasts and two-way dialogues. The real aim is to create a flexible, responsive system that meets families where they are and transforms the relationship from a simple info exchange into a true collaborative partnership.
And that leaves us with a final thought. What is one small, intentional change you could make in how you communicate? How might that single shift, like turning a one-way announcement into a two-way question, be the very thing that starts building a much deeper, more effective partnership?